revolved around his family, his loving wife, Clara, and the two bright-eyed children. Thomas worked tirelessly to provide for them, finding joy in their laughter and warmth in their smiles. For him, his family was his life's greatest treasure. One day, Thomas decided to travel to the town with his close friend, William, to buy seeds for the upcoming season. They crossed the dense forest together, chatting and laughing as the trees swayed in harmony with their steps. After purchasing the seeds, three began their journey home. As they approached the forest, dark clouds loomed overhead, and a thunderstorm erupted. The rain poured relentlessly, forcing them to seek shelter beneath a large tree. Exhausted from their journey, the two friends decided to rest until the storm passed. When William woke the next morning, the sun had already risen high in the sky, but Thomas was nowhere to be found. He called out, his voice echoing through the silent forest, but there was no response. Panic gripped him as he searched every corner of the forest, but it was as if Thomas had vanished into thin air. Heartbroken and confused, William returned to the village to deliver the devastating news to Thomas's family. Clara and the children were inconsolable, their home filled with sorrow and silence. Days turned into weeks, and hope dwindled. Yet, they clung to a sliver of faith, praying for Thomas's safe return. One stormy night, as the family huddled together in the dimly lit home, there was a knock at the door. Clara rushed to open it, and there he stood, Thomas. But something was different. His face was pale, his eyes wide with fear, and his hands trembled. Overwhelmed with relief, Clara embraced him tightly. "What happened to you?" she asked, her voice trembling. But Thomas avoided her gaze. "I'm here now. That's all that matters," he murmured, refusing to share more. For days, Thomas remained withdrawn, his once vibrant spirit replaced by an unsettling quiet. Clara, unable to bear the mystery, pressed him to reveal the truth. "Please, Thomas," she pleaded. "Tell me what happened in the forest that night." Finally, Thomas relented, his voice barely a whisper. "When I fell asleep under the tree, I woke to find myself in a strange, dark cottage. A witch stood before me, her eyes cold and merciless. I begged her to let me go, promising her anything. She looked at me and said, 'You may leave, but only on one condition. You must never speak of me or my cottage. If you do, I will return and take your life.' Terrified, I ran back home and tried to forget, but the fear never left me." Clara listened, her heart heavy with regret for pressuring him. The next morning, Thomas did not wake. The family found him lifeless in his bed, his face still etched with fear. As grief consumed Clara, guilt gnawed at her heart. "If only I hadn't forced him to speak," she whispered through her tears. "Perhaps he would still be with us." The lesson: sometimes, respecting someone's silence is an act of love. Not all secrets are meant to be uncovered, and not all truths bring peace. When fear grips a heart, it is compassion,